Welcome! Today I'm going to keep a long-term promise, which is shooting a video on how to use your lats. We're going to proceed step by step. I'm Olivier Girard, ergonomist, posture therapist, author of the Posture Manual and creator of the Posture Academy. Step by step, a bit according to why, how, what logic. The why first. Why should you care about your lats? Very simple reason. They have a twofold job. Their job number one, if you look at the architecture, you see it's a fan-shaped muscle, very wide base, and all the fibers converge together under your armpit. Why does Mother Nature do that? Well, to develop there a lot of strength, i.e. to carry the weight of your arms. The lats are your internal armrests. So if you don't master them, the weight of your arms hangs on your neck, which is a source of neck strain, violation of Rule 2 in the Posture Manual. Second reason why you should care, well, because the lats participate in extending the trunk, meaning that if the lats don't do their job, you're a bit like this. When you're a bit like this, the lungs are collapsed, the diaphragm is blocked, therefore your body will breathe less, and recuperate slower. So whatever be your health problem or any problem, it will be worse if you slump, i.e. if the lats don't do their job. Another reason at that postural level could be to say that when you slump, the shoulders shift forward, the head shifts forward, and you enter the vicious upper cross syndrome cycle. So you need to use your lats. Yeah? Now, question, if you want to use them, you need to know where they are. Put your hand here under your armpit, you see, and just keep your elbow at 90 degrees or something, and bring this bone slightly backwards. The fact that you bring it slightly backwards, 1 or 2 centimeters, activates something, a big flat surface here along your sides, under your armpit. These are the lats. They are the muscles which do this V shape in the back of swimmers. Step 3, how will you voluntarily activate them? For now, we're going to activate them too much, because once you know how to activate them a lot, you'll be able to activate them less whenever needed. So, go and visit the playlist that I have with exercises without a sound. That's exercises that I use for constructing, occupational exercise programs for my B2B clients. You take the one where I pull the band with my arm stretched in direction on my thighs. And that will directly activate the lats, provided that you are slightly forward with your torso. In other words, that your pelvis is slightly pushed back. The lats do not function well if you recline backwards. Which brings me to the next step, which is how to use them in an office context. See, in an office context, you actually don't need to do something extra. You don't need this strong contraction, but they need to be there. And how can they be there? Well, by sitting like I have taught you for, 4 years that I have this channel or something, which is push the pelvis back, stay slightly forward with your trunk, and don't let your sternum collapse downwards like you'd be depressed. Rather, push the mid-back slightly forward in such a way that the sternum is illuminating almost horizontally. That means in that direction, not in this direction. You see, it's a mini movement and it's not a forceful contraction. And that will become your natural posture the more you do it. And you see, as I told you, the lats don't work well when you recline backwards, which is the reason why I block the chair. Otherwise, the temptation to go this way is too strong. And number 2 is the reason why you should be supported at pelvic level, but not at shoulder blade level. If I go here, automatically I deactivate the lats. Bad idea. So you see, you don't need an extra activation when you're at work. When do you need the extra activation? And this is the last step, when you carry loads. Yeah, when you carry loads, basically it's a double job between the latissimus dorsi and the lower traps, which I call together the M in the Posture Manual. Why the M? Because the lats is the vertical pillar, the one that absorbs the weight, while the lower traps prevent the shoulder blades from moving sideways and therefore prevent rounded shoulders posture with loads which are a bit far away. You see? So basically you need the lats, selectively the lats, to fight the weight and stabilize the trunk against the weight that comes onto it. Typically, I use the lat when my kid is going to jump in my arms. You know, if I see him jump in my arms, tack, immediately the lats, and I'm ready to catch him in my arms, and then I'm going to absorb in my knees the vertical force, but I'm not going to absorb the force like this, which would big time mess up the discs. So only context in which you need to pre-activate, pre-mobilize the lats, keep them mobilized and relax them once the load is gone, manual handling. So cut a long story short, what should you do now? Put your hand here, take an elastic band and train with one arm first, yeah? So that you really learn how to feel it. Then same, the other side, and then you collapse and you just gently, you know, correct the posture of your mid-back to feel that micro activation of your lats. And you see, you go from maximum contraction to minimum contraction, the contraction that will soon become silent, and that will be the one you need to just keep that posture with the pelvis back, which prevent the chain of consequences when the lats aren't there.